Pair of twisted siblings, Yuma, a young man obsessed with the devil, and Shizumi, the worst little sister in recorded history, cause all sorts of tragic and terrifying things to happen wherever they go. These scary short stories will shock you with a literal interpretation of the ills that plague modern society. Hey everybody, welcome to another book review here at A Week in Geekdom. Geo here, and today we're going back to the manga goodness and continuing our Ito read-through. I made a playlist on this channel of me covering every single Junji Ito collected edition that I could get my hands on, and it just so happens that I totally forgot that I did not review this earlier. So here we are in 2020 reviewing Junji Ito's Dissolving Classroom. Now, I read at the beginning of the video on the little blurb here at the back that Yuma and the character of Shizumi, which, you can see the two of them right there, these guys, brother and sister, they the whole book is basically about them, and they, at the start of the series, they start on this school, and the character of Yuma, he is apologizing for every single action that he's doing, every single interaction with people he's apologizing for, and it's very unusual. It gets played for laughs in the school with the bullies, and teachers are genuinely concerned. And as you start digging deeper into the story, you find out that all is not right with the scenario at hand.
Brains are being melted, zombies, body juices, crazy neurotic kids, devil worshipping. Yeah, it's all kind of crazy up in this book.
As soon as you learn that Yuma is doing some creepy magical stuff, and how he's going about it is very unusual. To somebody in the West, it's going to seem extremely bizarre and odd that the character would do the things that he's doing through the act of the apology, and sort of what happens with an apology. But the clever thing is, Junji Ito, being highly critical of society and with parodies and, social critique and all that stuff, I found it rather amusing that he's taking this opportunity to do sort of a bizarre expose on the concept of Japanese media and the sensationalism that forms with an apology. Unlike in the West and other parts of the world, you don't have, when you have a big scandal with a famous person, or even if it's not famous, it could be somebody from politics or a teacher or something like that. You have a conference for these people to apologize to the rest of the population, to the media, to the government, whoever it may be. And it's a publicized event, and the media scrutinizes these people, and they are relentless with the questions that they ask, all that stuff. So I find it rather humorous that Ito's taking that concept and sort of exploring the side effects of apologizing to people, but adding his clever body horror and his wicked sense of terror and humor in this book. Yuma, at the beginning, you think he's like a certain character, but it turns out he's very different. I mentioned at the start of the book that he is dealing with a devil, or I guess I should say the devil, and his sister is absolutely terrifying, but in a weird, sick, and twisted sort of way. She's kind of charming. I mean, she's very upfront with the things that she wants to do. It's not a terribly complex character at all. The humor that I find and the intrigue that I find in this book is how they are able to how they're able to wrangle up everybody in their ploy and kind of get away with things. and you're sort of presented with different chapters or episodes in the lives of these two characters and how they're doing the crazy things that they're doing. Now, the start of the book, Dissolving Classroom, I thought the whole series was going to take place in a classroom, but it's just the first chapter, or maybe 2 chapters, I think. When you move past that, you realize that no, it is a very disgusting, revolting story around these two characters and the dirty deeds that they are doing and why they're doing it. That I don't really care to understand the methods of the madness that's taking place in this book. The characters aren't necessarily the best written material when it comes to a Junji Ito story, and it's not really that scary. It's pretty disgusting, actually. But the intrigue is there for on a satirical purpose, I should say, or level. And how they come up with the things that they do. There are other characters that get involved throughout the story, and they're trying to unravel the mystery of these two siblings and how they're making, as you can see in the cover, people dissolve and how all that disgusting stuff is happening. That aspect I really liked. It sort of formed like a little cat and mouse game near the end of the story. The resolution of these two characters is wonderful. I loved it so much. I thought it was brilliant that the final act takes place where it does. And even though you don't get the most conclusive ending that you hope for, it still has that lovable sting, like it ended, but it gives you an ominous vibe of what could happen later. You're gonna have to think it in your head, obviously, but I like that. At the end of the book, there are 2 short stories. I love them. They're extremely freaky. I love short Junji Ito stories. I think that is some of his best material when he's doing, a shorter tale, like I just said. But I really like the book overall. It's not my absolute favorite at all. It's actually, to be completely honest, one of his weaker books, but for the social commentary and the grotesque images, I'd place it above average, and I will happily reread it because I'm such a huge fan of the author that I don't mind going back and reliving some of these things. Also, the character work on this book is pretty friggin' on point. A lot of Junji Ito books, since a lot of characters intersect with different short stories and different books, it can seem at times a little bit repetitive with the character designs, but for this, they're unusually detailed and expressive that they stand out. Even though it's not the most horrific in like the spook factor, I should say. It's not the most horrific, spooky story. It's still quite chilling to have these characters and their facial expressions on this book. Top notch. Some of the best material, in my honest opinion, when it comes to that stuff.
Maybe at the end of the day, maybe what Ito is trying to critique and tell us is how genuine apologies can be and how their power can affect people, because some individuals, when they do apologize, it may not be sincere, but they somehow get off knowing that they did the thing that was politically correct and apologized while having an ulterior thought or motive behind it. I don't know. These are just some of the ramblings I thought of when I was reading this book.
Dissolving Classroom, pretty freaking fantastic if you ask me. Not necessarily the best, but still downright interesting and kooky in its own Ito-esque way. Have you read this book? I'm pretty sure you have. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Dissolving Classroom. And also, recommend me some horror-themed manga that takes place in schools. Pretty interested in finding out. Aside from Drifting Classroom, which I know, I know about that series, but I'm interested in what you guys have to suggest in the comment section down below. Thank you everybody for tuning in. As always, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and being a part of A Week in Geekdom. It truly does mean a whole lot. Thank you so much. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Check out the merch store, and of course hit the bell icon so you know when new videos pop up on this channel. That's it for now, guys. I've got to go. I will catch all of you on our next video.